Hello, we're here today to illustrate our copy from prior batch to an Excel export file. This feature is particularly helpful when you have several employee updates, such as contribution rate changes and salary increases. We'll start with our next scheduled batch. From here, we'll copy prior detail, and we'll select the radio button for Create Excel File to Export. I'll select my previous batch to copy from, and I'll enter in my report end date. This should be the same day as the pay period end date. Create Excel file to export, and we'll receive our message here that it was successfully submitted. If you navigate to the Reports menu, you'll find your Transmittal Delimited batch in Excel. Click on View, and open the Excel file. We can click on Enable Editing, and here you'll find the batch detail copied into the Excel format. It's important to remember that the format must stay the same, and when we save this, the file extension will also need to remain the same. Located in columns A through H are information specific to this batch. You'll find your employer ID number, your batch type, your fiscal year, the report end date that we entered, our total member account, and our total salary dollars. Also, if we had any SPC payments, those would reflect here. Column I is reserved for the SB Sarah ID number. Column J begins your specific information related to your employees. You'll find your Social Security number, your name, your birthday, and the remaining demographic information. It's important to keep in mind that you will need your code value table in order to populate any new codes, such as gender, marital status. You'll find when we get to some of the pay period details, such as the plan key, those will require the codes that live in the code value table. This is located in the employer guide on our website. Your organization will also have specific codes related to departments, job titles, and bargaining units. If you need those tables, please reach out to us and we can provide those to you. So let's get started with making some updates. I'm going to scroll over to my salary detail here. To report salary, you'll find that there's a series of 3 columns per salary code. A column for your pay code, a column for the associated hours, and a column for the salary amount. The associated hours should only be reported when you're using a cash out leave code. You'll see the 3 salary column configuration continues so that it allows you to report multiple pay codes for the one employee. For example, you'll see COO is a cell phone allowance, and then your ECB is your base code. So that allows for 2 pay items to be reported. I'm going to go ahead and report a pay increase here. And I'm going to continue on until I see the contribution columns reported and make adjustments to my contributions. If you continue along this line, you'll see that we move to the remaining demographics of address and phone number. And this is where our specific data per employee ends. Now I'm going to scroll back over to the beginning here and demonstrate how we add a new employee. I'm going to make some changes within this file. So let's go ahead and I'm going to copy the detail for another employee. And I'm going to modify the information to report my new hire. Okay, when I get to my new hire flag, You'll find this, again, it's your code values tables, that a new hire flag to mark true is 1. And I'll continue on updating the remainder of the information for this, specific to this employee. Okay, so here I will also illustrate how to terminate an employee. You'll find in column S is the termination date, and in column T is the employment status code. So this again will reference our code value table to find the code for termination. Okay, my code value for termination is 2312, and I'll enter a termination date. Okay, and I'd like to also illustrate how you can make pay period adjustments within the same batch too. So let's say Henry had a pay increase that was effective last pay period. So we need to add additional salary to pay period 11, which we already reported. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a line. I'm going to copy Henry's information. All of his information here will stay the same. I'm going to move over to my pay period detail. And this is going to be for pay period 11. We can leave our pay date the same. Now our record type is going to change because I need this to be a pay period adjustment. So the code key for pay period adjustment is 2547. Our plan key remains the same. Again, I've already reported pay period 11, so I don't need to report the units worked again. And I'll simply come over to my base pay code and add a salary increase. I'll move over to my contribution fields and update my contribution amounts for the retro piece. I don't need to report survivor contributions again. Okay, so once you're finished updating your employee information, we want to make sure that we update our member count and our total salary to capture all of our changes. So I know I added 1 employee, so my member count is going to go from 8 to 9. And then I'm going to come over to my salary columns and total those up. Okay, once all of your changes are complete, you'll go ahead and save this file. So your file name needs to be limited to no more than 20 characters. I recommend using something like your pay period information, your batch number, something simple. So I'll go ahead and use this particular pay period and our batch number today. Again, we want to leave the file type the same. Okay, so once your file is saved, you can navigate back to EmployerDirect and select Submit Delimited Reporting File. Okay, we'll click Browse and select the file we saved. And here you'll click Submit. After several minutes, you'll see that your batch is now in submitted status. You do have an opportunity here to continue to make any changes you may have missed, add new employees, any other payroll updates that need to be made before this batch gets picked up in the posting process. Every evening, our submitted batches get picked up for posting. However, if you'd like us to push this through the posting process sooner, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, we're here to help. Email us, give us a call. We're here to answer any questions or assist in any way. Thanks for watching.